Hello friends and dear students. Today I am going to discuss about diffuse axonal injury. It is common term for a medical science, but it is not familiar with a common peoples. It is caused due to unsafe driving by a driver, drive with drinks, affect passenger of some same vehicles or hitting vehicles as well as drivers during serious accident on roadways. Diffuse axonal injury is the shearing, that is tearing of a brain's long connecting nerve fibers, axons, that happens when the brain is injured as it shifts and rotates inside the bony skull. There is a acceleration and deceleration of the brain internal part of the skull when there is a struck by any hard materials from back side or from front side. There is a acceleration of the brains that will strike to the hard covering, that is a skull. So in case of front injury, there is a bouncing of the brain inside the skull and that cause injury. So you can learn what is diffuse axonal injury. Now if you see the brain, then you will find somehow any rods or any hard material strike to the front part. What happens? Your brain is covered with hard covering, that is a skull, and due to large impact, great impact on the front side of your brain or back side of your brain, it will create acceleration of the brain inside the skull, and that acceleration cause a striking of that brain with the skull that result in axonal shearing, means axon will tilt somehow and that cause a problem in connectivity, means nerve impulse transmission, means command transmissions. So if you see the diagram, the hard covering of your skull protect your brain, but impact is too much large. In that situation, what happens? As brain will rotate, brain will accelerate, and there will be a deceleration. So both the process will occur within a fraction of second, and that cause shearing of the axon parts. So that cause a problem in the patients. Now if you see this illustrative diagram, then you will find a rear impact, means backside hitting on the skull or near the below the skull, that cause a great impact or acceleration of the brain that is inside the skull, and that brain will strike to the inner hard covering of that skull. So that will damage your gray matters as well as white matters, and when they are striking from the front side, such happening generally occur at the time of roadways accidents. So just see there is a change in the shape of normal axon. Just see it is a straight, and there is a synaptical complex between two axons, and through which there is nerve impulse transmission occurs. So there is coordination of the information, that because brain will control all the action of your body. So if it is going to disconnect, then there may be chance of axon injury or axon death. Okay, so try to know the different grades of diffuse axonal injury patients. So the major reason of diffuse axonal injury is roadways accidents. So patient with grade 1 and grade 2 of diffuse axonal injury recover consciousness within 2 weeks, means it will take 2 weeks, means 14 days, while a patient with grade 3 injury, it will take approximately 2 months. Okay, so this is the case. Try to understand the word diffuse axonal injury. In that situation, patient will not take any command if you say anything. Even she or he will not come in conscious state. He or she don't know what is happening, but the motor activity or eye activity, it will happen up to some extent, but after repairing of the axon, it will regain such type of command activity. If you command anything, then he or she will follow. Next is prognosis of diffuse axonal injury, means पूर्वानुमान. Diffuse axonal injury का पूर्वानुमान means in mild to moderate form of diffuse axonal injury, recovery is possible. If there is a mild injury or moderate injury inside the brain regarding axon shearing, then there may be chance of recovery of the patient. Then in this case, he or she can gain recovery and he or she will functional like earlier. In case of midest form of diffuse axonal injury, often resulting in few if any long-term issues, about 90% survivor who are facing with diffuse axonal injury remain unconscious. It means there is severe damage in the brain part of that patients. Okay. Now, if you observe through the data, then mild diffuse axonal injury was observed in 44.9% of the patients, and severe diffuse axonal injury in 35.9% patients. So in that situation, 6 months after trauma, 30.8% of patients had died and 45.1% patient had shown full recovery according to GOS-E October 2016. So this is the case. I am describing this case in a real situation, a real patient story. Now a real tragedy story of patient fighting for life struggle race, Mrs. Renu Kumari, a high school teacher from Darbhanga, Bihar, India. Patient detail is as Mrs. Renu Kumari, a sole earning member of her family, and she has only one son. He had completed his BTech degree, but he is job seeker at present. In present case, the patient is admitted at Paras Hospital, Patna, Bihar, India, and present status of patient is still unconscious due to diffuse axonal injury since 2nd March 2022. So on that day, when she was returning from her school, a Scorpio struck on her vehicles and she suffered with diffuse axonal injury. A lot of patients required for her quick, slow recovery, but her son Nishant Newton has started a campaign for surviving his mother life on ketos. So this is the link of the ketos, and you can go through the details about what is the condition, medical condition of that patient. She is still on coma, unconsciousness, and Mrs. Renu require a lot of blessing from you to continue her fighting life of a struggle race. Feel a great human beings and give a lot of blessing to Mrs. Renu to return her smile. So I am supporting a teacher and humanity due to mistake done by some others. She is suffering with diffuse axonal injury. So this is uncommon word for a common peoples, but a common word for a medical peoples. So are you supporting? It will depend on you. Subscribe this link, share this link, and give your comments. And this is the complete details of her son's, Nishant Newton's, son of Srimati Renu Kumari, and he has given a link of Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, UPI, and saving accounts of SBI. So just try to give a blessing and give any helps for her fighting due to diffuse axonal injury of her real life race. So thank you and have a great day ahead. Be positive, think positive, and do positives. Thanks a lot. Thank you.